Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the Gen Con Online Twitch channel, which is about to get spooky. So it's midnight somewhere, and it will be when these fantastic players of Call of Cthulhu survive, meet their end. We're about to find out. Thanks for tuning in to what should be, in fact, it is the best of all days in gaming. It's just not Indianapolis. It's wherever you are. So thank you so much for joining us. We're together in story, we're together in games, but we're also safe and looking after ourselves and our loved ones in our houses. So let's have some fun. My name is Mark Morrison. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm an author for Call of Cthulhu. I have a scenario in the starter box. So if you enjoy the game, haven't played before, this is a really good way to start. Not just because I'm in it, really because of the work by Mike Mason and his fabulous team. I am joined by some astounding players from the Ain't Slayed podcast. So please introduce yourselves.
Hey everyone, I'm Rena. I live in Poznan, Poland, where I am a teacher of English at Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznan. I spend a lot of my time gaming, playing Call of Cthulhu, Dungeons and Dragons, and driving other people insane. You can find me around the How We Roll and Ain't Slayed servers on Discord as Romulan Rena, and happy to be here.
Yay.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm based in Dallas, Texas. You can find me as Father Flint on Ain't Slayed and driving Cup here crazy as we go on. But I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to play. So here we go.
All right, I am Cuppy Cup, and yes, I actually go by that name. I'm the keeper of arcane lore for a new podcast this year called Ain't Slayed Nobody, and I kind of wrangle these people, and I'm excited for Mark to be able to do that tonight. I'm based in Houston, Texas, and I'm a professor in real life, but Wes is the professor tonight, so looking forward to it.
I'm Wes Dave. Oh, sorry. I'm Wes Davis. You can see me on Ain't Slayed or listen to me on Ain't Slayed Nobody. I played Jeremiah, and my job is to prevent the party from doing anything. But you can listen to us over there, and we kind of love to spend our time driving Cup up the wall. And I'm actually a student playing a professor, so that's going to be a trip.
All right, well, let us begin that strange and terrible trip. In fact, dice. Got to get some dice going on here. I'm going to crack out some dice I have not used before. Look at this box of Eldritch Terror. This is from, you got to use Polish dice when you play a scenario in Poland from Q Workshop, and these are the metal ones. So that is the sound of your doom, one and all. Never been rolled. So check out Q Workshop at Gen Con Online. They're lovely folks from Poznan in Poland. Our story begins. And with a quick note, our story is set in Poland in 1922. I am not a historian. Just think of this as a monster movie where they get some stuff wrong. So Polish Twitter, proceed to destroy me. All right. It is 1922 in Poland. We are in the foothills of the Beskid Mountains. It is February. There is snow upon the ground, and we can see the lights of a truck driving up the hill towards a very small village. As the truck arrives, there are dogs barking, and there are people opening their curtains and looking out very hopefully. The audience notices something. I wonder if the people in the truck are going to notice. Why doesn't everybody roll a spot hidden roll for me and tell me if you succeed? It's Call of Cthulhu. We're going to roll some dice.
I succeed.
All right.
7 out of 45.
I failed.
That's okay. You would absolutely be the person to succeed. So we can see in the front seat of the truck, there is a woman and she is looking around as she comes to a realization. And the realization is everybody who's looking out to see who's coming is very hopeful, and none of them are men. There are women of all ages. Now, there are some children running out. There are some old men, but there are no men between the ages of about 16 and 60. Truck comes to a stop. There are dogs barking. There are chickens running around. And the truck door opens. Who gets out? What does the audience see?
The audience sees a woman of average height, very slender, looks a bit malnourished. She has very short hair, cropped close to her head as much as possible, sort of golden brown color. She wears a man's suit. It's very dusty. It's not super well kempt. She has a long overcoat over this that looks in better condition than her suit does. She's got a hat under one arm, a camera over the other arm, and she's also got various writing equipment and other things sticking out of her pockets as she jumps down to the ground and looks around with this air of, what the fuck?
All right. And now's a good time for the language warning. What the indeed? All right. Who gets out of the truck next?
I think get out is a interesting term for stumbling out and almost falling over himself, but it's a really big, stocky is the right word, but muscular, in case you cannot tell, man, 25 or so, obviously, has some military background with the way he carries himself, even though he is stumbling, but he's wearing a heavy jacket that he probably did steal from his time in the service, and he's just trying not to fall over his 2 feet. So,
all right, next out.
Okay, the driver exits the vehicle next, and he's not stumbling, but he's lumbering out of the driver's side door. He's a tall, rather fat man in a large heavy black overcoat. He's got long black boots on and almost not quite walrus mustache, but a thick mustache with stubble everywhere else. And in modern terms, he kind of looks like John Travolta, I would say.
All right, and finally,
the door opens to the passenger side of the car and remains open for a solid 30 seconds before anything happens, as if to intentionally build suspense. And then out steps an average height, bald, 50-ish year old man in a 3-piece corduroy suit. He's wearing a driver's cap to hide his baldness, and he's got a pipe between his teeth, and he stands up and puts his hands, through his jacket to pull it back and sticks his hips out to relax and kind of just surveys. And this is Professor Anthony Kaminsky. Because
this is the moment that he's been waiting for, as his bones have been rattled for 3 hours from Krakow. And this began last Friday. When I say last Friday, I mean yesterday, 17 February 1922, when you had a meeting. You had a meeting in your office. There was a knock on the door. Now, your office is in the Collegium Minus in Krakow University. You're a professor of astronomy, and this building houses you, also students of paleontology and mineralogy. You can hear them chattering away. It's cold. They're coming inside. And what's really nice about the sound of the chatter is there are women's voices. Because in Poland in 1918, universal suffrage was granted. So women were able to vote and also attend the university. And it's a great time for Poland. You are so thrilled. You are independent. You've come through the Great War, and you've come through extra war. You fought the Soviets from 1919 to 1921. But now you have peace, you have independence, and all of those years of occupation, like with Austria, all those borders have been pushed back. And in fact, Krakow University was where the students threw the painting of the Kaiser out the window, because students are good at starting shit up. So this is the moment when there's a knock on your door, and it's your faculty chair, Stefan Kreutz. Professor Kaminsky.
Come in.
Thank you. Well, I presume you are raring to go.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there. I'm excited to make my grand discovery.
This is exactly what we need. We need it for the university, and we need it for Poland.
Yes, for Poland.
I got your memo about the meteor that was seen to the south, and I've approved the funds. I would like you to gather a small expedition and see what discoveries you make, and if there is some excellent meteor fragment, then we will absolutely make this quite a thing. It is perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Well, it's definitely perfect timing. It's time my name was lauded among the other astronomers of our time. I'm ready to become who I'm supposed to be.
Well, we have been waiting for this, Kaminsky, because of course we stand in the shadow of, and he looks out the window. You literally are in the shadow of Copernicus. Like, the extraordinary astronomer, the most famous Polish undergrad of all time. He
I
was
know.
a student right here.
Yes,
and he's
you've told me.
Good. Because
I'm aware of Copernicus. He's going to be nothing compared to me.
I approve the funds. The most important thing is, did you hear these rumors of a discovery in Russia, in Tunguska? Have you been reading those reports?
I've heard rumors. Yes, I've heard rumors, but they're
nothing. I
want
to make this very clear to you. The Polish meteor must be better than the Russian meteor. Is that clear?
It's perfectly clear. It's the Polish meteor will be bigger than the Russian meteor. Yes.
Good. So I think you will need a student to assist. I think that is good for their development. I suggest Mihal. Mihal is brilliant. His grades are superb. He is a rising star. He'll be a future professor.
But hear me out. He's perfect student. Great student. I have another student in mind. But I have another student in mind, sir, and this is my expedition. You've approved the funds for me. There's a gentleman named Katsper, who he will be great.
Moment, Katsper, in the city of Krakow, what are you doing right now? As we've just heard, he will be perfect. Boom, there's Katsper. What's he up to?
He is almost face down in a bar, probably 5 or 6 drinks into his morning, feeling great, but will need to be picked up before anything further happens expedition-wise.
All right. So, Katsper, are you going to fight him or what?
Come
on, we've got money on this boxing match. How big is he?
I can barely see through my eyes.
He's as big as you are.
Okay.
Come on, Katsper, let's go. All right. And over there is Piotr, and he's like ready. And everyone's gathered around, all the students. All right. Come on. I've drunk as much as you. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Metal Polish dice coming at you. All right. Make a brawl roll. Good luck. Bang.
I got a hard success. I got a 90.
All right, I got a special success. I have rolled 11 in Call of Cthulhu. If you roll 1/5 of what you need, so bang on your jaw, boom. Your eyes roll up. Back in the professor's office. Tell me what is so good about this student falling in slow motion, hitting the table, glasses going everywhere.
He's my favorite student. He may not get the best grades, but he's always where I need him to be, and he always listens. He's a listener. He understands my greatness.
Katsper, get up, Katsper. He's not listening. He's unconscious. All right. Well, now let's be clear, Kaminsky. I expect results, and that's why I'm approving the funds. I'm your department chair, but if that's who you want, that's who you will get. Now, I think you should take a mineralogist. Do you have anyone in mind?
I've looked around. I've read about a gentleman named Jan Kapowski.
What do you mean you've read about him? His office is downstairs. I've told you, you need
to
socialize with the faculty more. This is...
His name is on the directory. I've read about him.
No, we won't go into this again. Go down and make his acquaintance.
Okay, fine.
Now, it's interesting because your senior, to him. He's only just completed his PhD. So are you going to go down and meet him, knock on his door, or are you going to send a student to have him summoned to yours? What are you going to do there?
Absolutely sending a student.
All right, there's Mihal. Of course it's Mihal. Mihal is like, I've done that extra research. So he's like,
Thanks for
right
the
there to go
research.
fetch him. I hear there's going to be an expedition.
I casually toss his research on my desk, not even looking at it. I haven't acknowledged it.
Brilliant research. Sometimes you find it a little hard to understand his research. He is brilliant. He might be a new Copernicus.
Nobody, nope, no. Mm-mm.
You'll be first author, don't worry.
Yeah.
Anything else, Professor?
Just go down there and knock on Professor Kapowski's door and send him up here to me. Tell him I need to talk to him now.
Now, I'm just going to hold you back there because I don't think he's a professor. Have you completed your PhD, Jan? Or is that still in progress?
It's all but dissertation. I practically have my PhD, I would say.
Many people in this world have practically done their PhD, and you are one of them in 1922. So so he refers to this PhD candidate, and that's the person. But you already have an office because you're a rising star. All right, good. Then go and see him, and of course we will have some press. We will have someone from the Illustrated Daily News.
The Illustrated Daily News?
Yes.
Oh, that's my favorite paper.
Well, of course it is. We all read it, and you will be written about it. There will be photographs.
How many photographs?
As many as you can take. I've contacted the editor, and he has recommended the perfect person in the offices of the Illustrated Daily News. There is a journalist. What is she doing?
Lev is getting kicked out of a bar because she has been there the entire night and is starting to get feisty, and the bartender knows her super well and is not about to put up with her starting shit in his bar.
All right. In that case, you get kicked out, and I guess it occurs to you probably should go to work. I'd really like you to go to work. Otherwise, you're not going to be in this scenario. So you get kicked out of the bar and you arrive in the office. And there is your editor.
Morning.
It is indeed morning, Miss Lewandowska.
Yep, that's why I'm here. Right on time.
I think you need some fresh air. There's a university expedition to the mountains. I expect you to have a good night's sleep and to attend to the university tomorrow and join them.
Okay. Which university?
I have a headache. All right.
The good one.
I've got the perfect remedy. And she pulls a bottle of whiskey out of her coat and slides it over to him. All
right. Of course, yes. Here's the thing. It's midday in Australia. Vodka or water? You be the judge. So I'm really interested. Rena, here's Lev, hard drinking. Like first thing in the morning. Why?
Lev was a war correspondent during the Great War, the last years of the Great War, and then during the Soviet-Polish War. So she saw a lot of action. She saw a lot of horrible things. She used to be a very optimistic person until she was out watching people tear each other to shreds. And she has a lot of difficulty dealing with what she saw out on the front lines. And the only way she thinks to deal with it is to drown her sorrows.
Okay, can you make a psychology roll? But yes. Because you're drunk, you're going to make it with a penalty die. So in Call of Cthulhu, the penalty die works like advantage and disadvantage in 5th edition. You roll an extra percentile dice and take the worst result.
Okay, that's a 27 or a 17. And whoa,
no, No, I haven't explained it clearly enough. Roll the tens twice. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. I just can't. I can't math. And hey, it's day in Australia. By the way, everybody, I'm talking to you from Friday, so the world is still here. All right. So even through that haze, as he rolls his eyes and walks away, something cuts through because you are a trained journalist. You realize he respects you so much. Your writing during the war was so important. And this is now a new Poland and the war is over, but you're out of chances. You know, he really can't stand to see you in this way. And there's no shortage of kind of new journalists coming through. So that kind of cuts through the haze. But he's such a formal fellow, he can't express it to you. So, all right.
I'll be sober in the morning. I promise. I'm
All
sorry.
right. Okay. Now everybody is typing really loudly. Oh my God, the typewriters, they're really loud.
Can I go now, please?
No, you cannot. So meanwhile, back at the university, I believe that Michal arrives in the offices of Jan. Mr. Kopowski.
Yes. How can I help you?
Professor Kaminsky would like to see you now.
Oh, really? Yes, straight away. Let's go. Perfect.
How's your research going?
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You know, as you know, I just returned from an expedition to Greenland, so I'm looking forward to having you write that up, perhaps.
Well, I read your article about that, and I couldn't help but notice some errors. And on the way across the courtyard, the cold courtyard, and all the way up the stairs, he tells you in detail all the errors you made. Are you going to accept that he's correct and you're wrong, or are you going to fight him with your mind?
Well, it's debatable whether all of those errors are unintentional or whether he's trying to fudge his way into a better publication.
We're going to have a battle. It's going to be a battle of wits. You're going to roll int versus this incredibly annoying but incredibly clever student who's rolled a 55. That's a standard success for him.
Okay, I rolled a 12, so I kicked his ass.
He is absolutely full of it. You punch her through, and he's like, and it's 1922, so he can't go onto Twitter and complain about it. So he'll just have to seethe. All right, so you've absolutely crushed him. And Professor Kaminsky, you can make a listen roll. If you succeed, you'll hear the sound of Michal being crushed, and that might put a step in your day.
It justifies the choice of Catspur as well.
All right. Did you succeed in your listen roll, Professor? You seem to be on mute.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that. I thought you were talking to Cup.
Yeah, I was. I do this thing where I switch around. So you're good.
I failed the hell out of that listen roll.
Well, I'm sorry. You don't hear the sound of Michal being wrong, but you do hear the sound of the knock on the door, and here comes your geologist colleague.
You may enter.
Oh, Professor Kaminsky, I was told you need to see me.
Yes. I've read about you. Jan. Mostly on the wall where your door is with your name on it.
With the comic strips right outside the door.
You seem to be a very lively fellow. The students like you, especially that Mihai that just walked with you. How did he point out the errors in all your work? How'd that go?
Yeah, of course he always does. But he gave me a chili pepper on my ratings, so we're okay. We're okay.
Okay. I have an offer for you. You want to go do some real field research with a future very famous astronomer?
Oh, it's Copernicus.
No, me.
Oh, of course. Yes, I would love to. I would love to join you on. As you know, I just got back from an expedition. Field work is actually my specialty.
That's great. Do you want to go on the mission with us? That's going to be bigger than anything you've ever done.
Would I be?
Okay.
Would it be
now, Jan? You would have heard about this. That a meteor was seen to the southwest, would have hit in somewhere in the Beskid Mountains. And that happened last Sunday night. And you've kind of been wondering if you're almost going to go organize to have a look at it. So you're already aware of this event.
Good. Yes, I've been itching to get out there, and I just wanted some research funds to be behind it. So I would like to discuss authorship maybe on the way, but I'd be glad to join the group.
Your name will be in the paper.
Fifth or sixth author, I presume.
It will be in the paper.
Okay.
We have a journalist coming. Your name's going to be in the paper.
Oh, the paper.
It'll also be somewhere deep in that paper, but your name is going to be in the paper.
As graduate assistant. That's fine. I'll go anyway.
5th paragraph minimum.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, I'd love to join you. Are we bringing Mihal?
No. Mihal's good, but I have a better student in mind. Are you familiar with Catsper?
Wow. Yes, of course. Are we...
I'm going to go. I want to know, Catsper, were you a soldier? Did you fight in the war?
I did. Front lines, saw a lot of things, came back to university to try to forget those things, but also I'm forgetting a lot of things I'm learning in university. So
yeah, Catsper, great big student, just, really kind of built and not one of your academic high flyers. No.
Good person. Good person. But yeah, if we want to publish these findings, I'm not sure about the choice. It's up to you ultimately, of course.
All right.
Do not question me.
So you have all you will get a letter telling you, Catsper, about that you have to be prepared to travel tomorrow. So all of you have the information. Kreutz tells you that the meteor would have been near the village of Kanina, below the Beskidi Mountains. It's about 53 kilometers south of Krakow. I don't know what that is in your American miles, but it's Poland, so it's metric, so suck it. And there is one small village just higher than Kanina, and it's called Anapol. And so that'll be the closest village to the site. So you have a moment to prepare for your expedition. What would each of you like to do? Is there anything you want to do to spend your day to prepare, apart from the sobering up and getting yourself together, but any particular preparations you want to make for your expedition? In any order, any skills, anything you want to do?
I'd like to put together or Jan would like to put together a pack of supplies to, if they get to the meteor, just to kind of poke around and do some field research collection.
You absolutely get a check from the bursar that you're able to get a truck and anything you want. So what are you going to take? You can. Why don't you have a think about that?
Okay.
And just let me know. All right. Anybody else doing any preparations?
Lev goes to make sure someone can take care of her cat while she's gone.
Okay. Certainly.
And she checks through her journals and all of her notes to see if she knows anything about the people that she's supposed to be following around. But the only person that she has a name for is the professor. And she seems to be very pleased by what she finds in her notes from the last time she ran in with the professor. So,
all right. So you will be aware of the professor as one of the older professors at the university in astronomy, who seems to be a fairly solid teacher, but just really like teaching and kind of filling the chair, I think, is a. Am I being unkind, Kaminsky?
No.
Thank you. Good. Pleased to hear it.
Being factually accurate.
Why don't you go ahead and make a library use roll for me there, please, Liv?
Oh boy.
Being a journalist and all.
That is a 23. That is a hard success.
23, a hard success. Fantastic. So you you get all the facts from your editor and you're looking up the other people around. Yeah, you can see there's a war record for Kaspar Novak. Were you known for bravery, Kaspar?
Well, I got an award for bravery, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I was brave in the war.
Okay, so, what is the story that is known?
So the story that's known is that I saved one of my compatriots in the battle on the front lines.
Okay, let's just say the Battle of Warsaw 1920. All right, excellent. So yeah, you know that there was this Battle for Bravery. You know a little bit about the professor, the geologist, but mostly what sticks as you're going through, you go, Anapol. I've heard the name of that village before. and then it comes to you, the Anapol widow. You remember her now. And that was 4 years ago in February 1918. You remember as you were going to and from the office and writing, and the horror was getting to you. It was getting towards the end of the Great War. At that point, you didn't know that the horrors were really going to continue within Poland, that the Soviet Polish War was coming. But you were kind of going to and forward your paper. And the street Krakow is a beautiful kind of city with stone cobbled streets, and it's got this very kind of like old outlook with a castle and many bell towers ringing out. And you noted that there was a woman standing out front of the courthouse. And you thought, oh, well, she's standing out there. And then the next day she was still there. And then the next day she was still there. And then the next day she was still there. Did you ever approach her?
I think I would have, out of curiosity, if someone
All
is
right.
there day in, day out.
So 4 years ago, there you were. You find like you approach her, and she is staring at the door of the courthouse.
Ma'am, can I help you? Ma'am, are you all right?
I am not all right. My husband is dead. Can you help me get justice? And she turns around and she looks at you very intensely.
Well, depends. Was it the Germans? Was it the Russians? Like, which one are we dealing with here?
It was Tomasz Kopecz. It's a Polish name. Badly pronounced, but that's a Polish name.
I don't know who that is, but you can. Do you want to come and sit and talk about it, and maybe we can figure out how?
I will stare here into the eyes of the lawyers and the judge and all the liars in this building. Tomasz Kopecz murdered my husband Jakob. He struck him. He killed him. He killed him in cold blood with many witnesses, and yet I do not have justice. They say it was just a fight. Men fight. I say they killed him. Will you give me justice?
Lev is scribbling things in her notebook. I can do some research and see what I can find.
Oh, bless you. Bless you. And as you're listening to her, you can say, you're speaking Polish, but she has an accent, and you would say she's Slovakian. Okay. So she's not local, but she's very upset. So you go away and you do your research and you find out all about it. Indeed, there was a brawl in the town of Anapol, and it was in the Soltis house, which is kind of the mayor and also kind of the pub. You know this, Rena, but it's where the community would gather. It's a mining community. Most of the men mine up in the Beskid Mountains. They mine for coal, and Jakob was killed in a fight. And the court found that Jakob threw the first punch. And apparently the men were insulting his wife, and her name is Anna, and that's Anna right out there. And the case is closed. The case is closed. It happened in November 17. So the next day you go out to see her. So, she's about in her 40s.
Ma'am, I've done some research.
You have come. You are an angel from God. What can we do?
Angel, probably not, but thank you. The records tell me your husband threw the first punch. Yes.
He was provoked. They lie. They were all there. He was dead. They lied. Don't you take their side.
I'm not taking anyone's side.
It sounds like you were taking their side. And she's kind of almost reaching for your coat lapels. Like,
Ma'am, I'm not the enemy here. You asked me to do some looking into it.
Oh, my child, you're not. Oh, but you've got to understand, how much more can a wife, can a mother take? At that moment, there is the sound of an army truck. Now, there is a soldier in there in the back. His name is Kaspar Novak. He is one of many soldiers, and they are driving off. They have just been recruited. They're going to the front. I think they're fighting the Austrians. Polish Twitter will sort that out for me. And there's a young soldier, Henrik. He says, please, can we wait? And the sergeant is like, we can't wait. We're going to war. But look, here we are in the square. We should pray. Good point. All right, smoke break. So the truck stops and Henrik jumps out the back of the truck. And he's walking through the square, going towards two women talking in front of the courthouse. Do you want to do anything, Casper?
I'll follow Henrik, see where he's really going to, and if he really actually wants to pray or not.
Okay. It is clear to you immediately that is an absolute ruse. And Henrik is a bit of a brainy, kind of really young soldier. And he seems to be, like really kind of interested in what's beyond Poland, what's going on. So he is not praying at all, but he's marching straight down there. So Anna is looking at you and she's about to say something. And she's like screaming and crying, and a voice says, "Mother, I cannot take it anymore." She turns around. You immediately see this young soldier, the family resemblance. Henrik, what is this? And the this is the uniform he's wearing. I cannot take it, Mother. He is dead and gone. We must fight for Poland. I cannot do this. What? Are you going to let him have it out? Anybody do anything?
I'm going to start bringing Henrik back towards the truck with me because we're going to get in trouble because they're going to find out very quickly that it was a ruse.
Don't you take my son! You have taken my husband! You cannot take my son! And like she's gonna launch herself at you, like she's just kind of just like a wild mother. But like you really could pick her up. On the other, what am I saying? She's like a farmer, so she's big, but you're bigger. What are you doing there, Lev?
Lev is going to try to grab her shoulder and pull her back so she doesn't accidentally kill anyone.
Okay, make a quick dex roll.
Oh God.
Mother. Mother. We must move on. That's a fail. Okay, all right. So you've got Henrik's mother is launching at you. This is distressing to Henrik. It's distressing to you. What are you going to do, Casper?
I'm going to just keep tugging and just kind of almost not even make eye contact and just keep walking as fast as possible with Henrik if I can.
All right. Of course you can. Make a strength roll.
That is a success.
All right. So you, being a huge Polish lad, just kind of shrugging it off and walking. And so she's just like, behind you. And Henrik just turns around, Mother, no. We must. And she just falls to her knees and she goes, and that's the sound you're now hearing in your mind, Liv, from 4 years ago. And you realize, oh my God, that was the Anapol widow. Her name is Anna Kowalski. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's how you prepare. That's how, I believe, Jan, you've got a truck full of stuff. All right. Kaminsky, any preparations?
Kaminsky is rolling up his collection of pipes because he wants to make sure he has the correct one for the photo that is eventually going to happen. That and his two small telescopes that he keeps in his jacket pocket. He wants to make sure he has the right one to be able to angle and take the best photo possible.
You're not taking the
no, he likes the small one. We're taking the big one too, but he's making sure he's got the shiniest little one so he has a spotter scope when he's there as well. He's also getting his rope and his axe just in case he has to do any kind of climbing up the meteor if it's out of the ground. If you're going down in the crater, you're gonna climb up.
What is your strength, Kaminsky? Seriously, are you going to be climbing anything here today?
He might. He's got a decent climb in terms of his abilities. His strength he's all right. He might. You never know, man.
I stand corrected. All right. And if anything, it is indicative of how this has revitalized him. Suddenly he's like, there's dust coming off everything in the office as you're
Mhm.
ready to go. All right. Any other preparations or research you want to make, or are we good to go?
Let's get famous.
All right. Okay. So, the next day there is Cuthber, Black Eye. Yep. All right. And there's Mihal going, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, which is Catsper has really prepared well, I think, for this trip. Right? He got the letter. He didn't go see his professor. He didn't do any real research in anticipation of this. All he really has are just weapons. That's all he really knows what to do. So he has his rifle that he took from the military. He has a knife tucked into his boots. He has, rations for a few days tucked away just in case he gets hungry. And he has his flask of water and his flask of whiskey. And that's it.
Okay.
He doesn't have any papers. He might have a notebook, I think, stashed somewhere in his jacket, but he is prepared in a sense, but not prepared in most other senses.
All right. So this is an interesting thing that you almost, with a rifle over your shoulder and your big coat, it's like you're going back to war. Do you want to go back to war, Caspar?
I think
Was the war good for you?
Deep down, or if you ask him this one-on-one, I would say no. I would say no, the war was terrible. That's why I'm back in school. But obviously school is not my strong suit. War, at least I came back with a medal. And so war might be the only thing I'm actually good at. So I don't know if I'd be excited to go back to war.
That's a really interesting revelation. It's almost as though you're walking out of the gates of the university from your new life and walking back into your old, even without knowing it. And you're certainly interrupted by the fact that here's the Professor Kaminsky and here is Kapovsky, the mineralogist, and there is equipment everywhere and there's a truck that needs to be loaded.
Who's gonna do that though? Me with the strength and the brawn. I'll start loading. That's the one thing I know I can do. And so without even really saying anything, I just start loading. Maybe a brief nod to the professor and the scientist. But I just start kind of.
Professor, are you helping to load?
Guy, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, we lost you, Bruce.
I have a bad habit of clicking mute when I'm not talking, just in case. Sorry about that. No,
I'm going to be tapping you in all the time.
Please do.
Yeah, okay, of course. No. That's what Caspar is here for.
Yes.
So Caspar immediately swings in to help, picks up the long case with the heavy telescope without any knowledge of what's in it. Roll dexterity, Caspar.
Great. Yes. That is a trip 0. I'll say that.
Oh my God! There is no amount of luck points in the world you can burn. So he just grabs that and throws it in the truck. If you want to make a listen roll, you can hear exactly into how many pieces it shatters, but everybody hears that. Kabang! Mihal is like, ah! And then he just faints. Bang! He's out.
Was that important, or is that supposed to make that sound?
No.
Kaminsky, I warned you about this kid.
No, he's gonna be fine. Run back. We can deal with this. We can deal with this Casper stuff. Just don't do it again, okay?
He's just broken your most expensive microscope. He can't do it again. He has destroyed it. It is destroyed.
Caspers.
I do have some hand lenses.
The hand lenses might.
Okay. All right. So Mihal has recovered and he gets up close to you, Caspar, and says, I will end you. And then he walks away. All right. So that is the circumstances under which, and then now a woman is arriving, and I believe she has carrying a camera and has a notebook. And here comes the journalist. It's your formal introduction to everybody, Lev.
Mm-hmm. So Lev walks up in her greatcoat and suit, men's suit. She's not quite as hungover this morning because she promised she wouldn't be, but there's a tip of a flask sticking out of one of her pockets. And she looks over at everyone. She's like, Jan, hey, they got you on this too. Maybe it won't be as boring as I thought it was.
Oh, Lev, it's so good
Now,
to see you again.
I just want to get straight to the Professor Formal. This journalist has just arrived and announced she thinks this is going to be boring. What's your reaction to that?
Oh, I'm going to step between the two of them reuniting. It's boring. This is going to be the most amazing discovery the world has ever seen. You have to be excited about this. This will make you. You will become the most famous journalist in the world after reporting about my discovery for Poland.
You're actually a very famous journalist, Lev, because your stories about the war are beloved.
Don't think I need much help with that. Yeah, you're really going to make this discovery for Poland. She's very hostile. Like her whole body language is very hostile towards the professor. He's like, yeah, right. Cool. I believe that totally.
And everybody gets into the truck, and we have a very pleasant 3 hours together in close confines. Maybe not a lot of talking going on until you drive south from Krakow. You follow the roads. The roads get more kind of back roads through the farms, and now you're driving through the mud, because it is Poland in 1922. You've got the big cities, and then, like, what is it, 70% farmland, the breadbasket of Europe. Finally, the shadow of the Beskin Mountains. It's cold here, through the small village of Kanina, as light snow falling as you're driving along there, Jan. Is it? I know it's frosty outside. Is it frosty in the truck?
Oh yes, yeah, it's freezing in here. We all have our big overcoats on, winter coats, so it's helping a little bit.
Okay,
so worse than this in the war.
All right, so you arrive, and this is the point where we began, with the truck pulling up. You're all getting out, ready to make this discovery. And Lev, remember, long ago you made an intelligence roll. You just immediately look around and go, there are no men here. Okay. Now, Professor Kaminsky, you've been given the name of the Soltis. So again, in Poland, kind of combination, kind of mayor, head person, and his name is Piotr Skorok. So he'll be the person that, like, and he knows that you're coming. And so there's dogs barking. There's kids very excited about this truck, because as you were driving up here, you can see you've gone past the railhead. The rail stops at Kanina, and so you've gone up beyond that. There is a very narrow gauge railway here, and it's the kind of rail that is just used for mine trucks. And not even with locomotion. You can see that there's kind of a rutted path next to it where ponies would pull those up and down the mountain. So yeah, and the Conin River is flowing past the town. You can see that there is it's wooden houses, farm buildings. They've got plaster walls and thatched roofs with some wooden boards. Maybe it's about 50 people live here. There is a narrow wooden church which has a shingle roof, and the largest house in the village has a sign, and you recognize the symbol of that would be the House of the Soltis. So yeah. So anyway, there's kids running out to see the truck. Like, this is pretty exciting. All right. It is Saturday morning. It's about midday.
Catsper, make sure that the kids don't get into any of the equipment.
What did you say? I'm sorry, I was not paying attention. That is my fault. But and
Catsper, have you been drinking?
A little bit. It was a long drive, and it was very cold, and you need a little bit of whiskey.
It is really interesting, Casper. You were somewhere else. You literally were somewhere else. You got out of that truck, and suddenly you realize you were being talked to. Where were you in your mind? Like, what was it at that moment Casper was thinking about? Because he wasn't thinking about this. Like, here you are in the shadow of the mountains, almost wearing your army boots with your big coat and your rifle. What were you thinking about?
I mean, honestly, I was instantly transported to when I first got off the truck all those years ago at the very start of the war. And it was almost breathing in that same kind of mountain air and feeling that all again, even the temperature and how it felt, and no men in the
just getting off there and hearing kind of the drone of the plane above and that just little whistle sound, and just something told you in that moment to jump out of the way. Make a dexterity roll. It's 1917. Make a dexterity roll.
72, which is a fail.
It is a fail. You might want to learn some luck on that, or you're going to disappear from existence because you died before the scenario started. So burn all the luck to make that roll. How much luck do you have?
Let's see. I have 50 luck.
Okay, well, spend as many points until you succeed that dex roll, or you're going to die, and just everyone will go, "Hey, was there a student here? What continuity error? What? What?"
Let's go get me, Hall.
How many points of luck did that cost?
It cost me 7 points.
Oh, 7 weak. All right. So yeah, you were lucky. You were just lucky. You heard a whistle and threw yourself in the ditch. Nobody in that truck was lucky, as just like a German two-seater overhead. Actually, who knows? Not identified plane. I don't know who you're fighting at that point, but just a small bomb, just a man in a leather coat, just dropped a little bomb, and it landed right on front of that truck. And bang! Your introduction to the war is rolling out of the way in a sea of flying body parts. Roll sanity.
Sand roll.
Yeah, I know. God, an hour of Cthulhu. We haven't had one. What is this?
I
shit?
know.
I know, right? That is also a fail.
Okay, lose D20.
12.
Okay, take those off. So now we get to the secret of how your war was. Now we find out the pain, the shell shock, and the trauma. They didn't call it PTSD. They call it shell shock. But now we're finding what Casper, the scar in his heart. We've just learned it. So cross off 12 points of sanity. No wonder you weren't listening to Jan. You got out of a truck and looked up, waiting for everybody to die.
Mm-hmm.
Did you throw yourself into a ditch? Make another sanity
I
roll.
was.
Make a sanity roll. Make a sanity roll. Because there's a whistling sound. It's a woman. She's got a kettle on.
That was a success. That was only 18.
All right, you didn't throw yourself into a ditch. All right, we have plumbed the mystery of why he totally wasn't listening to you. So, oi, student, what's going on? All right, okay. All right,
the equipment.
So,
Watch the equipment.
All right, I believe Casper is going to sit out here and get a grip on himself and watch the equipment. What are the rest of you up to?
Professor wants to go.
Taking some notes. Lev is taking some notes on what she sees around her. These kids.
Make a spot hidden roll. Okay, fantastic. While you're doing that, Professor, what are you up to?
Marching up to meet the mayor.
You're going straight to the Saltus house? Okay,
right
Jan,
there.
Jan, what are you up to?
I'm going to follow the professor.
Okay, so you two are both going in. How'd your spot hidden roll go?
Exact success, 45 out of 45.
A success is a success. So yeah, you are absolutely confirming what you've already discerned, that there are no men around. Although there's now kids surrounding Casper, and like kids are just awesome. They've utterly broken you out of whatever reverie you're in, Casper. They're like, do you drive it? How fast does it go? You know, is that a gun? Oh, actually, they know it's a gun. That's an obvious thing in 1922. Can I shoot it? So you're, are you a hunter? Alexander was a hunter, but he went mad. He's locked in the cowshed. So all these kids are kind of babbling at you. And you two go into the Saltus house. All right, so you're pretty much walking, like I say, into a tavern. So it's that kind of white plaster with the wooden cross beams, low ceiling. If you look up, you can see carved into the ceiling was the name of the family and when the building was built. Which is, I'm going to say, was 1813, and the family's been living there ever since. So yeah, in you go. You can smell some really good kind of cabbage, kind of dumpling smells, and yeah, you two walk in.
Hello.
All right. Okay. So from the kitchen, out comes a man, and he is walking with a crutch. He's a young man, and he's in his 30s, but he's really having to use that to kind of make his way across. And you immediately look at him and go, he's a young man in Poland in 1922. He's had a terrible wound,
Right.
probably in the war. So, hello.
Hello, young man. Are you?
What do you want?
Oh, we're the party from the university. We're here to do the exploration.
Yes. I forgot all about it. Yes. Sorry.
Forgot.
Yes. We've been very busy here. There's a lot going on. The men haven't come back, and Alexander's gone mad. It's we're very busy. Anyway, what do you want? How can I help?
We're here. You've been told of our coming. There's no preparations been made for us. No accommodations are made.
Oh yes, you can stay here, of course. Yes. This is about the meteor. We think it fell to the south. So that was last Sunday. There was a bright flash. All the dogs howled. And Monday morning, we noticed the Kowalski farm had been burned down. Anna was killed. That was very sad. So we buried her. You're free to go and look.
There's
You can both make a psychology roll.
Oh, fun.
Okay. You're surrounded by kids, Casper.
And I'm trying not to let them run away with things. They might have run away with a couple small slides or something, but I'm almost overwhelmed with how many there are.
It's just curiosity. I mean, they might be kind of looking at stuff. They want to know about things. This is really interesting to them. And except there's one small girl. She's 6, and she says, is my daddy with you?
I kneel down and I just kind of make her almost want to ask it again to see if there's any more information from her.
No, she's a 6-year-old. She's asked you the question. She's expecting an answer.
Your dad's not with me. When, how long has he been gone?
Oh, well, he's just been working all week, but I thought it's my birthday, and I thought he'd be here for my birthday. Normally he comes home last night, but he didn't come, and he hasn't forgotten my birthday, has he?
No, he has not. I know he has not.
Oh, I knew it. I'm going to get a puppy, aren't I? And I'm going to name him Azor. Rena, is this true? Every dog in Poland is called Azor. Yep, excellent. Nailed it. Research. All right. Okay. No, actually, I have to have my friend Presnov at Q Workshop for that one. All right. So, she's very distraught. Meanwhile, inside, how did their psychology rolls go?
Fail.
I failed horribly.
Okay, no worries. Cool. So anyway, that's what he's telling you.
The cabbages, I can't help but notice the smell of cabbages.
This is the smell of Polish dumplings. I adore them. Pierogi. How could I have forgotten that? Man, I'm just too busy thinking about dog names. Pierogi. I have some frozen ones in the freezer right now. Vegetarian ones. Very good. It's just the smell of cooking. Oh, you're distracted because you're hungry. Fantastic. Exactly. On the job, thinking about the important things. What Absolutely. Are you asking, Professor?
There's people that have died.
Oh yes, Anna. She was killed. It's very sad. Her farm burned down.
Her farm.
Make a psychology roll, both of you.
Oh.
Okay. Meanwhile, so you've made your spot hidden, Liv, and I think you are sort of seeing everything that's been described. All the children do look. Some of them are like a little bit like puzzled and kind of looking around, and they keep looking kind of up along the road, which leads up the mountain. Can you see them? No. This is what you're observing. How'd that psychology roll go?
Fail.
I failed again.
Oh God, does someone want to throw a guy a bone, spend some luck on this? No, it doesn't matter. All right, you're good.
I'm 22 away, so.
Yeah, as you were, no problems.
Did you say
it's not a big deal. It's just me having fun. Yes.
The men haven't come back? What's that situation?
No, they should have been here last night. And I know they have some of the beer and vodka up there. I suggest they probably just decided to. Sometimes they do this. They decided to stay up the mine and on Friday nights, and they will come back. I can see that they get sick of drinking here. I can see that, and it's actually a lot of resentment in him towards these other men for some reason. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you what do you know about this meteor? You didn't see
No,
it
I
yourself?
no. Somebody saw that was last Sunday night. Somebody saw the bright flash, and then all the dogs barked. And
Did you hear anything other than the dogs barking?
No, we didn't. Now you can make. Actually, you don't have to make this at all. A roll on this, Professor. If a meteor hit, they would have heard that. Like that would have like gone kaboom. It would have been like a bomb going off. It would have been the first thing he said. So
Mihal would have known that.
Yep. Yeah, Mihal is busily researching how to get his revenge on Casper. Oh my God, the dirt he's digging up on you, Casper. All right, cool. Yep.
You said I could take a roll?
No, you don't need one.
You just know.
You know
okay. I just
that
know.
if
Okay,
a meteor hit nearby, he would have
You heard nothing? You heard nothing?
No, just all the dogs barking.
Is that Jan?
Professor, that doesn't make any damn sense.
That does no sense. How did a meteor land and you heard nothing but dogs? Did anyone in town hear anything?
No, we didn't look until the next day, and we saw the Kowalski farm had burned down. Anna was killed. That was very sad. Make a psychology roll.
He really wants you to know this.
It's worse. I think worse every time.
All right, fantastic. I'm giving up on that line of inquiry. The joke is more thin.
Can I push it? I'll like look really deeply into his eyes and maybe grab his wrist.
Of course you can, but I'm going to roll it for you. What's your psychology?
Okay, it's 35.
35. So every time he says that, as if it's not already clear, every time he says animals killed was very sad. It was not sad to him in the slightest. He has no regrets whatsoever, and just his lack of care is really confronting. Like he just couldn't care less. So that's a strange thing. Thank you for pushing the roll. All right. Lev, what are you up to? You can see that out the front of the church, there is an old priest, and he's sitting there with his cassock. His bony knees are kind of, like he's kind of like crouched there, and huge beard, and he's just staring at you.
So originally, Lev didn't think it was weird that the men were gone because it's post-war Poland. A lot of places are like that. And then she hears the kids. So she looks over and is a little confused about the men being gone. And then she sees this priest and she's like, okay, that's a little weird. Maybe he knows what's going on. So she's going to go interview him and see what's happening.
Good girl. Come, we will pray.
Yes, Father.
All right. And he opens the door to the church.
Lev looks around. I'm not going to burst into flame when I walk in here, am I?
Oh, are you? And now that concerns him. Once you say that, he's suddenly now he's giving you a very searching look.
I don't know. I haven't been in a church in a few years. I don't know.
This is the problem. This is why nobody prays. Everybody forgets the things which keep us safe. And you're dead to him. That's
it. He's like, okay, well, all right. I'm gonna go talk to somebody else then. Have a nice day. Like she.
Okay, so you turn away, and he's kind of scowling at you at this tremendously ungodly thing that you've said to him. But you did make your spot hidden from earlier. So as you turn away, there's the church. As you open the door, you got a sense of, oh my God, there's bling. Like that church is really like all kinds of icons of the saints. They're actually really wealthy in this town because they've been putting it all into the church. You can get a sense that is really kind of like some kind of beautiful work, very refined in there. Obviously, it's very much a thing of the church of the time to have all the icons and the gilt, but they've really gone to town. And as he opens the door, it's practically, whoa, like Zelda-style glow coming out there. So as you turn away, you do notice, of course, there's the cemetery and all the kind of headstones, and just the way the light catches it, you can see there is a headstone which very recently has had a new line chiseled into it. So, and the headstone itself is pretty new, only a couple of years old.
I'm going to go check out the cemetery.
All right, so you walk into the cemetery, still snow on the ground, some dead leaves drifting past you. Anything else you want to ask Piotr, Kaminsky, and Kapolsky?
Can I pull the professor aside and tell him that this is wrong in so many ways? Professor.
Okay, you share your suspicions of what you learned earlier. He understands that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can it doesn't sound like anyone's actually seen this meteor in the ground. I don't understand.
It has to be down there. There's been so many reports of a meteor. We should ask him. We should ask him more.
You also know instinctively that because he's talking about a local farm, you're within a kilometer of where it hit.
Yeah.
You know, what he's told you is the farmhouse burned down. You can go have a look.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
We will prepare your rooms.
All right. While they get our rooms ready, let's grab a pack of just do some initial exploration.
Yeah. I agree. We should absolutely do the exploration.
Okay.
We'll send Casper in first.
All right. Now you're out there, Casper, and you're talking to the kids. Man, are you as good a shot as Alexander? Alexander's not shooting anything. He's locked in the cow's head. The Salters took his gun away. Oh, what?
Who's Alexander?
His gun? Oh, he's a hunter. He's an old guy.
How
the
old?
Locked him over there, and she is pointing at a cowshed which is up behind the Salters' house, and you can see indeed there is a chain and a padlock on the door.
If I went over and checked it out, would the equipment be safe? Because I made a mistake earlier in the day. I don't want it to happen.
Just kids. Like, seriously, they think the truck is unbelievably cool. They're not here to nick your stuff. But, however, they'll follow you around because you're fascinating and they think you're really cool. You got big boots. Except a lot of the girls are gravitating to Lev because they think she's amazing. She's got a camera. She's got, been writing some things. They're like, what are you writing? So you're all getting these little fan clubs as well as there's chickens everywhere, dogs. It's all going on in Anapol. So, yeah, you can walk straight up to the cowshed. It's not time to feed him yet. I take his dinner out. His soup in a bucket. I take it at tea time. Oh, sorry, dinner time.
I get as close as I can to really kind of make out who is in there and what's really happening. Okay, so what you've got is a cowshed. Now, it's a cowshed built for the Polish winter, so therefore it's a really solid structure. It has a big, heavy door. It's simply barred. I think it wouldn't be chained and locked. You don't have to, but there's definitely a great big bar over it just to keep all the cows in. And in fact, as you're getting close, you can hear the cows are in there. It's winter in Poland, so they're in the barn. Alexander, are you in there too? I have to make his listen roll.
Holler.
There is no response, but there is. Okay, be some cows. Come on, I need some more Atmos. Can I get some more cows up in here? You guys are excellent cows. I can't read chat right now, but if anybody's in chat, if anybody's watching this, I have no idea. Just write moo in chat. Let's get some cow mooing. Everybody watching this on stream, you're all cows now. Okay, Casper, you hear a lot of cows. Right. I don't hear a man. If he's mooing, maybe. Right. I get as close as I can. Because what's the danger of cows? You're at the door. No worries. Okay. And I hit the rail with my gun, make a little clanging sound, see if that gets any more than moves. It gets some really interested moves because that sounds like the cows are going to be fed. So there's definitely there's even more kind of like cow excitement, like bang, bang, But yeah, there's no response from in there. The door is barred. What do you want to do? I wonder, I don't have any good
like locks.
All right, you think about that for a moment. Lev, you have come out. Oh yeah, you've seen a tombstone.
So I'm gonna go over, take a look,
Right.
maybe make a sketch of it.
Through the gate, and there are all you see all the kind of names of the people of the village, and you recognize kind of some of them, and go straight to the one that caught your eye. That is the name on that is Jakub Kowalski. 1870 to 1917, inscribed beloved husband of Anna, father of Henrik. And very recently, Anna, wife, died 1922, has been kind of banged in there. Actually, they wrote like, whiff. Like there's actually some typo. It's been done very carelessly, like done. And you can see indeed that there's a recent burial here. So the grave dirt is all disturbed, and there are no flowers.
And I remember Anna, so this is...
Yeah, maybe you should make a sanity roll.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Good. Next time, just tell me. Don't make me fish for it.
I wasn't sure I wanted to say it, Mark.
Coward.
That's a 47. That's a pass.
Well, you're a journalist and you know horror, but it is, of course, it's sad. Did you feel some kinship to her?
I felt very sad for her, losing her husband, seeing her son go off to war, and the last time I saw her...
Let's also be really clear. You utterly failed to help her. So I think you should lose 1 point.
Okay.
Or you can lose more if you like. You could lose D3. How much regret do you feel?
No.
All right. Now that's really interesting. At the moment where you would have to take some responsibilities for action, again, like Casper, the callus is on your heart. You just go, things are sad, people die. So, but you still lose a point because, gee, that's sad.
I've seen worse things. I'm upset by it, but I've seen far worse.
You have indeed. All right. You two are in this. Anything else you're asking the Saltus about, or are you done in there?
I think we finished up with him, and we're going to go gather everyone to make kind of an initial look at the meteor site.
All right. Great. So you're coming out and getting to the truck. You can see where the road is like rising as it goes. The Kowalski farm is the last one to the southwest. Like the whole village is in the foothills of the mountain, but it's definitely kind of rising up there. And you can see all the trees and the kind of cold, dark expanse of that mountain above you. It's going to be a pretty muddy walk for a kilometer. You might want to take the truck, and you've got a lot of heavy gear as well. Casper, there you are at the shed. Are you going to come back down to the truck, or are you going to do something here?
Well, I see my boss, and any thought of me trying to open a gate or see what's going on inside is kind of lost, and I almost forget it completely and just make my way back to the truck because I know I don't want to get yelled at again.
Yep, no worries. All right, you leave the dark cow-filled shed behind you as I believe now you all gather at the truck.
Gaspers, did you leave this truck?
Oh, he definitely did.
What? Me? No.
Definitely.
I'm going to cut him some slack there because the second he heard that door open, he was like, "Oh, back to the truck." So he's like, "Did he or didn't he?" It's hard to tell. He walked around from the back of the truck, but definitely he was there.
Lev is ratting him out.
Lev couldn't see me. She was at a cemetery. She has no idea.
Right.
You walked away before Lev went to the cemetery. So,
all right. So, in fact, Lev, now that you've just seen this grave, you get back and you see Casper. You go, "Oh my God, he's the soldier. I've seen him before. He was the one in the square. He was the one in the square that day that took Henrik away from Anna." So, yeah. All right, Kaminsky, you're not famous yet. Clock's ticking. Copernicus is dead. Far more famous than you will ever be. What are you going to do?
We need to get to the meteor as soon as possible.
All right. So with that, I believe the order has been given. Into the truck. Make a drive roll there, please, Jan.
Oh. Ooh, that's an 8. Very good. Extreme success.
That is sensational. All right, so you pile into the truck. You just got ratted out, Cuthber by Lev. So I don't know. Frosty in the truck again. Frosty for reasons beyond the fact that it's February in Poland. But you drive up the road with Jan. You know, it's mud churning away, but you don't get bogged until you've reached the outskirts uh, of the farm. But as you're leaving, of course, those children run after you, and as the little 6-year-old, she sees Cusper that you're driving a truck up that hill. She says, "Yay! Bring back my daddy! Yay! Happy birthday to me! Happy birthday."
Starlight.
All right. And she, even as you, because it's a truck with sort of side beds, Cusper, you can look out the back and see that little hopeful form, like in the middle of the road, just looking after you and just waving. All right. And then the truck turns into the farm. All right.
I feel good about this.
Nothing can go wrong.
The farm is
We're all gonna
surrounded
live.
by low stone walls. Of course, we just raise stone to define the property. There is a track comes off the road, and it just goes through the fields. The fields are, of course, covered in snow to a farmyard. You don't need a spot hidden to see the farmhouse because the farmhouse is gone. There is no farmhouse. There is a barn, there's some sheds, a couple of like a dog kennel, but there is no farmhouse there at all. But there are the fields stretching on all sides with a lone stone wall around it. Okay, as Jan expertly drives the truck up. And
Do we notice
parks
if the
it.
ground is burn up where that barn should
Well,
be?
you don't notice much because you're too busy kind of driving the truck and leave it on the road, but you absolutely can see that the truck is, that the house is not there. So you stop the truck. I presume you're all getting out. Who wants to do what? You want to go and look at the barn, I believe. Is that what you're doing, Jan?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Okay,
Yep.
great. All right, so you're skirting around to go look at the barn to see if that's burned. What's everyone else doing? Field stretching all around you. It's cold here, snow on the ground.
Professor has gotten out of the car and is speed walking to get ahead of Jan so he can be the first one to the burned down area.
All right.
He wants to be there first and count that as a win.
So that's fantastic. The funny thing is you totally speed walk there because Jan is going around it to look at the buildings behind. So you go to the farmhouse first. Fantastic. What about Lev and Cusper? What are you two doing?
Lev is taking some pictures.
Okay, so you're taking some pictures. Fantastic. Make a photography roll.
Thought you were going to say sanity for a minute there.
That comes later after you develop them. So make a photography roll and also
That's a 2. That's an extreme.
All right. So it is really interesting, these pictures in which you do not appear, but you get this moment of Jan. What does he look like? What is his expression in this moment? Boom, perfect photo.
He's looking with this sort of pensive air of something happened here. It's very mysterious with the burned out field around it,
and then another plate in. Boom! What's the expression you capture on the professor's face?
The professor looks excited, and his eyes are wide, and he's got this huge sort of grin on his face as he's power walking through the field.
Casper, what are you up to in this moment?
Well, the professor was speed walking so quickly he forgot half of his equipment. So I'm tailing him as fast as I can with a few key.
Well, no, you're
equipment.
just going to be unloading the truck. So, because he's speed walks, you haven't even got anything out. He's just like, you've never seen him move that quick, except maybe, I don't know, like, a half price pierogi, so you are kind of unloading the back of the truck. You can make a spot hidden roll there for me. Casper. All right. Are you going to take a photo of Casper unloading the truck there, Lev?
I don't think so, because that's not the most interesting thing. I'm focused more on the field.
He was never there.
Mm-hmm.
No photo of him is taken. How'd your spot hidden roll go, Casper?
Cats with a ghost.
Don't do that. How'd you go?
I got 28.
All right. Sorry, we're one Richie Rich ahead
I
from
should be
the
below
full 28. That's a spot hidden, right? You've made it,
Yeah.
Casper?
Yes.
All right, great. So
Yes.
as you are unloading, you kind of notice something kind of interesting that because you're at the back of the truck and kind of putting equipment down, kind of glancing around, you can see that kind of low stone wall. On the southwest side, you can see the wall continues, and then there's a gap in the wall. And the interesting thing about that gap is it really looks round, really looks circular. And once you've kind of looked at that, you think, actually, there is a like the ground is lower, like there's a trench, and it leads from the black smear where the farmhouse isn't. Um, it's like a trench from the farmhouse to that hole in the wall, and then kind of beyond. Uh, and make another spot hidden roll for me.
21.
It's a fantastic roll. You just find yourself, interestingly enough, just like looking beyond, and you can see looking up the mountain where there are trees. There's a tree missing. There's another tree missing. It's like that trench goes all the way up the hill as far as you can see. So that's an interesting thing. You turn around to tell the professor about it, and he's gone. And when I say he's gone, I mean he's actually gone. He is nowhere. He is entirely gone. Jan, you are over checking out the barn. The barn is utterly unburned. There is not a scorch on it. The dog kennel is fine. You do notice that all these buildings are a little bit run down. It's like no stock has actually been kept here for a couple of years. Things have fallen into disrepair, but there is absolutely zero smoke, fire, anything damage at all. So you turn around like for the speed walking professor, except there's no speed walking professor. He's gone. There's just this black smear where a farmhouse isn't.
It's crazy. I don't understand. At least I'll be on the cover of National Geographic.
All right, what you can do?
I think I'm gonna go back to the truck.
All right, you go back to the truck. There's Casper, and you find him kind of standing there looking towards this kind of hole in the wall and up the hill.
Casper, I can't find the professor. He was near me. I don't understand. Have you seen him?
I have not seen him. Sorry. Do you see what I'm seeing? This trench, and I kind of just point to the direction and see if he can also, or if I'm just hallucinating it myself. Do you see that?
Once you point it out, he absolutely sees it.
My God, that's not right. It's just taking photos. Can I?
Photo? This is great.
Can I walk like really close to that wall to take a look?
You can. So you are now heading across the fields. Casper, are you going with him?
Yes, I'm going with him.
Okay, so those two are walking away. Professor, you're not there. You don't exist. Lev, what are you doing?
After I get a photo of Jan and Katzper looking at the trench, I'm going to follow after them, taking some notes in shorthand to describe everything as I'm going.
Alrighty. So you walk down across the field following this trench and reach where the wall has the round sides of this hole, and they are perfectly round, as though they've been chiseled with expert care, except they're not chiseled, Jan. They're not chiseled at all. It's like, when you look carefully, and you're a geologist, it's actually marble. It is marble. It is marble. Do you know how marble is formed in geological terms?
Of course, I'm a geologist.
Yeah, so it's by the passage of the millennia and the crushing of gravity and rock compressing rock compressing rock. Just the edge of that hole is marble, and nothing else is.
Right.
This is absolutely impossible. In geological time, it is though what happens over millennia to create marble happened at this farmhouse last Sunday night. Roll sanity.
Yeah. Oh, 97.
Thank you. Casper, you are a bit of a thickie, but you have some geology. Can you make a geology roll?
Yes.
Bonus fun fact, you don't want to make this geology roll.
Okay, here we go.
Did you make it or not?
Would an 11 be making it on a 40%? Yes.
Yes, it is. You too must make a sanity roll.
Okay.
So glad I
Great.
don't have geology.
23 for sanity. So
All right. Okay. Sure. So you're just like that seems odd. You lose a point. Jan, this is impossible. You know stone, and you can see where it's all. It's also like we just built stone walls by piling them up. This is impossible. This is an absolute denial of everything you know about rocks. Lose D10.
3.
Okay. All right. So you
I just
stagger
kind of
back
stumble.
from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you feel your throat is very dry, and you feel very, very, very hot. You really, really need a drink. So you just reach out with your hands and just get some of the snow. Just get some snow and you eat it. You immediately feel much better because heat is bad and cold is good. You might have another handful.
This is the dog piss.
yeah, maybe
No,
a different
no. There's no dog. There's no dog. Remember?
Yellow snow.
No.
Some
Yeah.
Casper snow.
So Lev, you arrive, and there is Jan. He's going for a third handful of snow. Looking at this.
Jan, are you okay?
Just trying to cool down. That's all.
Make an intelligence roll, Jan.
Webb is looking around like he's not speaking. Nicole.
I succeeded, which I think is bad in this instance.
You're not cool yet. You just need to eat some more snow. His lips are turning a little bit blue, but you feel so much better because heat is bad and cold is good.
Jan, stop that, you idiot. And she's just gonna shove her flask of vodka at him. Drink this, not that.
Okay,
Good Lord,
need
you're
it.
gonna die.
make a psychology roll. I'm going to give you a bonus. No, actually, I'm not going to give you a bonus dice. I'm going to give you a penalty die. I'm going to give you a penalty die for reasons.
Okay, psychology, yeah?
I just have my face in the snow now.
No, you're just having a perfectly reasonable conversation, just getting handfuls of snow and eating it.
Okay, so that's a 52 out of 60, so it's a success.
All right, so he absolutely doesn't want the vodka because liquor warms you. You don't want to be warmed, but you do get his attention. Now, Professor, wherever you are, it might be a moment to reflect that if people liked you more, they might be more worried that you've vanished. But so you think about your life choices, sir.
I'm in therapy.
All right, so that is a strange thing. A perfectly spherical hole in this fence. What do you want to do?
I'm taking more pictures once Jan stops eating snow like an idiot.
All right, you're taking pictures. What are we doing?
Am I still just eating the snow?
No, because she managed to get your attention.
Oh, okay.
And boy, do you
out
have
of
a bit of a stomachache now. Whew.
Yeah. Can I like look through the hole to see if it continued onward?
You see exactly what Casper does, that it continues onward. It goes actually straight up the mountain. You can see where there are trees missing. It absolutely goes all the way up there.
Mr. Kapowski, I think we have a decision, which is, do we look for the professor or do we follow this trench? And I'm not going to say what I think, so I'll defer to you.
It's really interesting. The minute you say that, it just sounds so bad. And Kapowski, you suddenly realize, like, you're all in deep shit. Like the professor has vanished. How's that gonna sound?
Can we yell out? Can we yell out for him?
There is no answer.
Okay. That's scary.
I think we should follow this trench now. He'll catch up, or we'll find him, whichever.
Can we get some equipment?
You've got to go back to the truck for the equipment. Lev, following the trench is literally walking up a mountain in February in the snow. All right, so you walk back to the truck. Now you can, as you're walking back and like looking at the farmhouse in a little bit more detail, I keep on saying the farmhouse is gone. It's literally gone. There's not a brick, there's not a stone, there's not a bit of timber, there's no char. It is simply like just a black smear. It is as though the entire farmhouse was just vaporized. What's the melting temperature of stone, Jan?
And
Roll sanity.
I rattle off exactly what that is. 57. That's a success.
All right. Lose a point.
Okay.
All right. You really might want to have some more snow. But you stop yourself because you made the roll.
Okay.
Okay. What do you do?
Okay. I want to get some equipment. We're probably not going all the way up the mountain, but I want to have the equipment even as we look for the professor.
It's really interesting. The minute, God, Kaminsky, you must have been a complete ass like this whole trip up here, because the minute they go, we should look for him, they find something else to do. So Jan goes back and starts looking for equipment. What are you two doing? Lev and Casper.
I'm going to take
a circuitous. Oh, go ahead.
You're taking notes. Yeah. This is really interesting psychologically about you, Lev. What I'm learning about you as a journalist is you actually don't do anything, because your skill is recording, it is seeing and remembering. And it's almost like you've stepped into this pure journalism mode where a man is missing. The story is that he's missing, and you're just writing about it. So why don't you have a bit of a sanity roll to check yourself?
That's a 95. Nope.
That's how do you feel in that realization?
It takes me back to my time on the front lines when I woke up almost like in the middle of this sort of journalistic frenzy where I was just writing and describing and taking pictures. And I suddenly realized that someone had just been bayoneted right in front of me, like just a few meters away. And I was recording it and writing it, but I wasn't seeing it. And then I jolted out of it and realized, oh my God, a man just died horribly in front of me and I'm not feeling anything.
You couldn't do anything to save him, but you might be able to do something to save the professor. So this is the key moment for Lev. This is the moment where she decides to record history or to make it. What do you do?
Save me.
Shut up, you disappeared. Mute that guy. What do you do?
She pulls a coin out of her pocket and flips it.
What she does is decides not to decide.
And she lets fate decide it for her.
All right. So funnily enough, I haven't done a product promo yet. While also writing for Call of Cthulhu, I also make campaign coins. Campaigncoins.com, available on our website, 10% discount on Gen Con. And we've just made these, I know, seamless. Nice. We've just made these new, I don't know if you can see it in my camera, life and death coins. The life size has a grail and death is a skull. So I think skull is, grail is act, and skull is, all right, you good with that? All right, bang, it was the skull, but then it fell off my hand and landed life. So you have to decide, because randomization is weak. Do you act or do you watch? 3, 2.
She doesn't act. She just keeps writing.
Because in her heart. All right. So Casper, it's up to you to be the hero here, because nobody else.
Well, so Casper's not going to like look for the professor, but he is going to be kind of circuitous with how he's walking to the car, and he hasn't seen the farmhouse or the lack thereof yet. So he's going to kind of start walking towards the car, but still kind of go check it out for himself briefly, and maybe throw a few professors out and see.
Okay, so there's no response. You're just standing there. There's a black smear where the farmhouse isn't. In this uncomfortable silence, you can hear the very loud scratching of Lef writing. Sure. She seems to be writing very intently, and it's good stuff, Lef. Oh my God. Absolutely fantastic.
He has great reasons for not going after him. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Okay, right. Dead set. That is interesting. Right. Okay, cool.
Can I lay on the horn a little bit on the truck since I walk back there?
Aruga. You have to lay it on. You have to give it a squeeze.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It was worth doing just for the effect.
I am sick of talking about how the professor does not answer. He does not answer. He cannot hear you. He is not here. What do you do, Casper?
I want to go. Oh, okay, Casper.
Well, is there anywhere that he could be hiding, or is it just barren? Is it just
make a spot hidden roll? Make a spot hidden roll.
Okay. 37 and I'm a 35, I believe. So
Do you want to burn 2 luck?
I'll burn some luck.
Okay, great. So cross off the luck. So looking around, yeah, he could be in the barn, although Jan was back there. He could be in the dog kennel. That would be strange. He could be behind those buildings. But you don't see him, and you don't. In fact, you can see his footprints. They very clearly power walk into the smear where the farmhouse isn't, and you don't see any footprints emerging.
What I'm going to do is follow those footprints, but make like a loud noise so that to at least get the attention of the other two so they can see me
Right, so
follow into that.
Stomp, stomp, stomp into the black smear where the farmhouse isn't. Absolutely banging away with your army boots. Does the professor hear you? No. He doesn't hear you because he's unconscious in the cellar. In the cellar that he fell into because he didn't see it because of the black smear. He is face down unconscious. You realize that when you stomp very heavily into thin air. You might want to roll dexterity roll or you're going down as well.
I failed.
All right. So,
yeah.
Bang. Professor, there is, I don't know how many pounds, 200 pounds of Polish military student now in midair falling. That might fall on you. Make a luck roll, Professor.
Okay.
Professor Kaminsky's
Oh, 92. That's
well, the good news is, Casper, the professor breaks your fall. Give him.
And you break the professor.
Give him D6 damage. Professor, you've already taken 1 point of damage from where you fell in to begin with. Casper, can you roll? No, Casper's going to roll it. D6 damage on the professor, please, because you landed on him. Bang! Good rescue.
Just a 1.
Just 1. All right.
Just
so you
okay.
crunch.
Okay.
So bang! Everybody hears that as Casper falls into the cellar, which you'd never seen because it's a dark cellar in a dark smear and you just hadn't looked carefully enough. Yeah, the professor is down there in the cellar. There are wooden steps leading the cellar. They're black with coal dust because you store coal in the cellar. The floor is black, but there's no coal down here, just an unconscious professor. You can see that there is like a small table with a candle. The candle is half burned. That's a wax candle like 5 feet below where a farmhouse was vaporized. And the candle is fine. Professor, you wake up. Like Casper landing on you kind of brings you to.
Oh, God. Casper, you clumsy idiot.
You're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome.
Okay. You both can pick yourself up. You can walk out of this cellar quite easily. The rest of you heard the bang. You can see that they're down there below in the cellar that nobody noticed.
Yeah. Can I run over there? And
sure, absolutely. You look
down
where they are.
Not into the
no, it's fine. It's fine. Not, you all know about it now.
Yeah.
Easy.
I'll follow over, I suppose.
Okay. Yep. Sure. What
are you okay?
They seem to be fine. I want to know what the 2 people in the cellar are doing because it is approaching midnight. Gen Con online, and it's going to get scarier. So let's have more action. Are you 2 leaving the cellar or looking around down there? What are you up to? It is very peculiar, Professor. As you come to, you find yourself transfixed by near a farmhouse that burned down. There is half a stub of candle. It is entirely unmelted. That's weird.
Can I spot hidden on that on
sure.
that table and around?
Make a roll.
Okay. So that is a 14.
So yeah, you look around and you can see that there are, there's the table and there seems to be kind of papers scattered everywhere. And in particular, like there's one piece of paper right near where the candle is. Now, before our game, I emailed you a zip file with a hidden player handout. This is the moment, Professor, to find that file which got emailed to you. And hopefully you can. And if you can't, someone needs to open it up on their computer. I believe it's going to be displayed on Twitch thanks to the magic of David, who is our hidden master of ceremonies. Thanks, Dave and Jamie, everyone at Chaosium. Awesome. Have you found the handout?
I've got it right here. It's just got to open up. There we go.
Okay.
It's unzipping. There it is.
Oh, this is good
don't
television.
laugh at that. No, it's hot.
Loading bar.
It's hot. Yeah, we're loading bar. All right. It says, do you want me to share the window or?
No, you don't have to share the window. In fact, that breaks Twitch like you wouldn't believe. Due to the
Okay, good
magic
deal.
of television, everybody in Twitchland, hi, everybody in Twitchland, they can see the handout, but I want you to read it, if you want to read it.
I wanna know how to read it. Is the thing. It's what is this? Fingui Magviwa
Make a Welsh roll.
Make it.
When you say that word, you hear it in your blood. Your body is what? I don't know, 36.9 degrees Celsius. I can't tell you in Fahrenheit because Americans are weird, but that is the heat of your blood. And when you say that, you suddenly realize boop, 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 your temperature is starting to rise. Just reading that word. Before you read that, that's a word you've never seen before. None of this is any kind of language except one word there absolutely jumps out. Can you see the one word on the screen that is actually, you can recognize it? An astronomer will recognize it.
Yes.
Which is?
No.
Okay, no worries. It's a zip file of a scrap of paper covered in dust. It is Fomalhaut, which is the evening star. It is the name of a star. Anyway, make a sanity roll.
All right. Okay, that's an 18, which is a success. Okay.
All right, so you lose a point.
All right.
But you just feel really uncomfortable about this piece of paper.
Here, can I? I'm going to hand it to Casper. Casper.
There you go.
You hang on to this. This is very important. Don't read it.
You notice that the professor is sweating. He's literally sweating, even though it's Poland, February 9th. How cold is Poland in February there, Rena?
Back then, very.
Oh, yeah, no global warming yet. All right. Although some, just not as bad as we have. Whew, bring the mood down. All right. So you have found the professor. Nobody wanted to, but there he is. You fell on him. Had to happen. And you all emerge from the cellar, standing as one in this impossible farmhouse, which has ceased to exist. I think everybody's had a bit of a sanity roll already, but finding yourselves just looking together at where that trench goes to the farmhouse or comes from the farmhouse and up that mountain. And as you're looking up the cold mountain, you can also see the glint of where the rail tracks go up the side of the hill, heading towards where the men went.
I wish we had that telescope.
He has a mini telescope.
Yeah.
You've got your two mini telescopes.
I'm gonna pull out my mini telescope.
Okay, drop a spot hidden, please.
Okay. That is a 72, so that is
I'm going to give you a bonus die because you thought to bring a telescope. So have another roll on your 10s.
Okay, that is now a 32.
All right.
Which is a success.
Okay, so you get out your telescope. You can see clearly that line of missing trees goes all the way up the dark mountain for as much vision as you have. But then suddenly something walks in front of that line. Like something moves through the trees, like breaking cover from one and going to the other, just for a moment. And you see quite clearly it is a pit pony. So a pit pony is a pony that pulls the mine carts. And you can see all its leathers and the halter is trailing behind it. But it's just moving through, just kind of grazing in the forest. And as it passes in front of your telescope and you go, am I seeing this? You can see that there is a wound on its flank. And you can see where blood has dried and frozen. So this pit pony walks past and is gone into the mountains.
I'm going to hand the telescope to
Nobody sees the pony again, but you do all see that this line of trench is going all the way up the mountain. It is now getting into the mid-afternoon. Weather's getting a little colder. Professor, what are you hoping to discover here? Are you hoping to be famous? You've wasted your whole career just teaching Copernicus and never discovering. What are you going to do?
I want to follow that. I want to follow the line all the way up the mountain. I want to go to where it ends.
The professor gives the order. Now, you're not going to walk. You're going to want to take the truck.
No, take the truck.
All right.
Everybody load up the truck.
Are we all getting in?
Yes.
You mean
absolutely.
Casper load up the truck.
Yeah, Casper, do everything.
You get into the truck and you proceed to drive. The road goes like up through the woods, and there's trees on all sides. You're losing sight of where that line is. Sometimes you can look down and kind of see it, but you kind of lose sight of it until you cross it, which is a bit of a problem because now you can see that trench has cut right through the road. There is a hole in the road. Now, at the where you first saw the gap in the fence, it was 10 feet, about 3 meters across. Now it's about 2 meters across and about 2 meters down, which is 6 feet. That's a bit of a problem for a truck. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, can I try to just do a hard brake to avoid that?
Oh, you're grinding a truck up a mountain. So
I'm trying to get around it. Okay.
Yeah, but in other words, the road you're following has been cut by this trench. What are you going to do?
Well, do y'all want to try to drive around this or hoof it from here?
I'd rather drive.
Can we get out and survey and look?
Certainly. Everybody make a spot hidden roll.
That's a 12. That is a hard success for.
Okay. So fantastic. So you all get out, have a look. Yeah, it's certainly a deep hole, but there's lots of trees around here. You could kind of cut some trees or get some kind of things to kind of fill the gap up and get some stone in there. It would take some time, but you probably could pile enough in there to grind through if you were careful. But the thing you notice is the sides of that trench are marble, which is news to you, Professor. Roll sanity roll. That is not possible. That is absolutely not possible.
That's a 40 and that's a success.
That's weird. Very peculiar. Who put a marble trench up a hill? Lose a point. Actually, no. You should lose D3. You should lose D3. All right. So you can walk. You can try to gun the truck in some ridiculous Evel Knievel moment, or you can take the time to build yourself a bridge. What do you wish to? Or you can go home and live. What do you want to do? Did I say live? No.
I think we should walk at this point because it's February in Poland. It's going to get dark fast, and if we take the time to fill it up,
that is Liv's suggestion. Are you going to do that, or does anyone have a counter proposal? It's a good suggestion.
I'm willing to walk as long as I can take.
That's 2 for walking. Are you walking, Professor?
I'm walking. I want to walk on the marble.
All right. It's approaching midnight and Gen Con Online. So everyone gets equipment out of the trucks and proceeds to walk quite easily across the trench, leaving the truck behind you. Are the lights still on?
Absolutely.
All right. So as the shadows and the gloom, that comforting light disappears. You did get a fairway up the mountain, and it's switchbacks and roads. You can see the twinkling lights of Anapole far below. Is that 6-year-old still standing in the road looking for her father? It's impossible to tell from this height, but you know that she is looking for him and hoping that you will bring him home safely. So now the road is actually turning. It's not going all the way to the summit. It's turning around to the due south to follow, because there is actually a dam above you. You can see the high stone walls and earthen ramparts of a dam has been placed here to change the course of the Conin River. Because now you're looking, Jan, and you can see, the river, its course was going down to the mine. And so they've put a dam here. They've dammed it to change its course so that the mine doesn't flood. And you feel very comforted, Jan, because cold is good. There's something about that cooling weight of water if you need to have a bit of a drink, and a lot of it close hand. You feel pretty good about that. All right. Down the track, and now you can see you are approaching the mine compound. There is the mine head. There is a barracks where the miners live during the week. You can see a small mine office, and you can see a supply shed. You can see a line of mine carts, all of which are empty and filled with snow. There's absolutely no coal in there. No coal has been mined this week at all. And there was no coal in that cellar either. That cellar should have been full of coal. Yeah, so that is what you're seeing as you're walking down towards the mine, as the shadows are lengthening and the air is getting pleasantly colder.
Got a bad feeling about this.
Should we call out for those missing men?
You call out. There is no response.
Let's keep going. We've got to get famous soon.
We have the good photos.
No, but we don't have a discovery. We haven't found a meteor.
Right.
We have to keep going.
So you walk down into the mine compound. There you can see, everyone make a spot hidden roll.
Ooh, I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
No one needs to roll. We're good here. You immediately look around, Jan, thinking, all right, what is going on here? So you can see the mine office. The door is closed. You can see the supply shed. The door is open. You can see the barracks. There is no lights on in there. The door is closed. You can see that mine head. You see the empty carts. And in the snow around the mine head, there's also a windlass. So the pit ponies, they just hitch them to the windlass, and that's what pulls the mine cart up and down. So it's a shaft mine. And in there, in that windlass, you can see in a pile of snow 2 hoofs sticking up. There is a dead pit pony, and you can see it is still attached to the windlass.
That pony looks like what I saw
coming home.
I saw.
There is no sound. What do you do?
Well, how are we going to get
the other
down?
thing you see, thanks for the 0-1, that really helps me out there, Cup. You see clearly a hole in the back fence, but it's a very small hole, only about a size of only about 1 foot. So you realize that trench has been diminishing and diminishing. It started this wide, and now it's just about the size of a basketball, or like a soccer ball, or a football, as they call them in Europe. And it's a little tiny trench, goes directly to the mine shaft. And there's a little tiny circular hole in the stones around the mine, as though, pop, hole in one. You have a trench connecting the farmhouse to the mine shaft.
Yeah. Can we look inside that terminal hole?
So Jan is going to go and look down the mine. What are the other 3 up to? What are the rest of you doing?
Going to try to get ahead of Jan.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I'm looking at the hole.
All right. So that's what's so there's the 2 sensing their discovery and wanted to get there first. Lev with her camera. We already know that something in Lev is either brilliant or otherwise. Oh, we've lost somebody's video, I believe. So what
he died happen? Like he disappeared.
Yeah, my goodness, that's shocking. So what we're going to find, our viewers at home now, is that, yay, welcome back. Names and photos might not match anymore because Caspar had a freak out moment. He disappeared like the professor. So just deal with it. Brandon's still with us. Hi, Brandon. Excellent. Great. So we are back indeed. So Lev, ready to record, but also something about watching the professor march towards a hole in the ground brings a smile to her face, because this is a very deep hole in the ground, a very deep hole. And is something like the audience can see, live like, yeah, there's something weird going on there. Now, what about you, Caspar? Everybody is marching to the mine shaft, or Liv who's following. What are you up to?
It kind of, like we've been talking about, like a PTSD is coming back a little bit. Where
shell shock.
I'm
Let's use the
like,
1920s term, shell shock.
A shell shock has coming back where I'm almost just on my guard, right? So I've pulled out my rifle that's been on my back the entire time and almost flanking them in a way. We don't know what's behind it. It's dark. I'm just kind of
all right. So make a spot hidden roll for me. Like as you're literally getting back into the war. You're looking for enemies in the snow, in the gloom. How'd the spot hidden roll go?
It did not go well.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah, 78.
All right. So there might be enemies in the barracks. There might be an enemy in the mine office. The horse is dead. It is not an enemy. There might be somebody in the supply shed. You can see the supply shed is full of things. You can see many mine coats and heavy boots from your glimpse in the door. You can see kind of boxes of rope and lanterns. In fact, many coats and boots are there, but curiously enough, you don't see any picks at all. But there's some boxes of dynamite. There's some other kind of supplies, lots of kind of oil and rope, things you would expect, as you are trying to keep everybody safe as you move around there. And now I need a dexterity roll between the professor and the promising PhD candidate. Who reaches the mine shaft first?
I got a regular success on the nose.
Regular.
I failed.
All right, the professor will not be denied. You have reached the mine shaft. You look down, it is pitch black. You note that the rope is down, so the cage is far below. Make a listen roll.
Success. Wow.
All right. And Jan, you don't get the glory of the discovery, but you arrive. You two can make a listen roll.
I failed.
Okay, that's good. You don't hear this. What you hear, Professor, as you look down there, is you hear this sound. Chink, 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 chink. Do you know what does that sound like to you?
Canes? Or being
Chink.
Mining. Gotcha.
Chink. In pitch black, at the bottom of a shaft, there's a dead horse at the top of it. There's snow everywhere. Men haven't been seen for a week. And yet, down in the dark, chink, and it's not just one, chink, 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 chink.
Can we yell out to him?
Yeah, sure. What do you yell?
Who's down there?
All right. What are you doing, Liv?
I was taking pictures and then.
Okay, roll your photography skill.
That's a 5.
Perfect picture of two scientists absolutely united in their purpose of discovery, just together, looking down, almost arm in arm, in this one moment, united, as you yell, "Who's down there? Down there, down there, down there." There is an answer. It doesn't come from a miner. It's not speaking Polish. And you hear it here, but you also feel it in your internal organs. And it's getting louder. The vibration of your internal organs is getting a little bit kind of more busy. And I said it was dark down there. Now it's light. There's flickering light, but it's a most beautiful and curious light. It's like X-ray. It's like reverse exposure. It's like kaleidoscopes. It's like rainbows. It's like colors you've never seen before. What do you do?
If I've never seen it before, I want to look deeper. I'm now curious.
You are going to discover it. What are you doing, Jan?
I'm looking down the shaft, absolutely.
All righty. What are you doing, Liv?
Do I hear this?
You absolutely hear this. Everybody hears this.
I start taking notes to describe the sound while I move closer to see if I can see what it is.
All right. So you are looking down and writing. What are you doing, Caspar?
I I hear it, and
The
I'm
sound of
immediately
the
taken back.
plane that dropped the bomb. It's the same sound. It's the sound of imminent death. Roll sanity.
17.
All right. You're fine. Okay, lose a point though. All right, as all the colors, impossible colors, minerals, things indescribable and never seen before, infrared and inverted, intense non-light, shining through you and within you, but no temperature, no temperature. Just getting closer, and now there's like a flicker, like a movement of light, and then suddenly there is something there among you, and now it's at the bottom of the shaft, and now it's behind you, and now it's all around you, and you need to roll sanity for me. Not you, Liv. You're looking at your piece of paper.
That's true.
All right. Everybody
How
else needs
engaging
to.
works.
Success.
I think I got mine.
Lose
Nine-
D6.
93.
Lose D20.
Lose D6. Okay.
D6 on a success. D20 on a fail.
12.
9.
How much? Casper?
12.
12.
I got 9. 9
Right.
off.
I got
How much
3.
sanity? You're fine, Prof. You made your roll.
I'm at 27 sanity.
Bang! You're gone. What about you, Jan? How much sanity did you have a second ago?
I have 57 now.
Bang! You're gone. You too are no longer able to deal with this in a rational fashion. Something has happened. Jan, you're the closest. How do you react to this? This figure, is it a figure? Is it a ball? It is starting to speak within your mind. What do you do?
I think I'm going to chase the figure, which could involve going down into the shaft potentially.
All right. So you want to you just step. You just step in. All right. So what do you do, Professor? You have made your sanity roll, and as he takes your discovery, just steps off into the shaft, and he begins to fall, and he's looking. You're grabbing at him. Okay, fantastic. Make a dexterity roll.
Okay.
Bastard! Mine! All right.
Mine. Yeah. I failed.
Okay, you miss him, which means you are looking into his eyes. What are you saying, or what's your expression as you're falling there, down this mine shaft?
Shock
Jan.
and dismay.
Yeah,
with
Jan, what are you doing? Jan?
I'm just like,
all right.
but I'm kind of a little hidden excitement too.
All right. As he makes the discovery, he touches the light and he just vaporizes. 1 minute he's there, and next minute, whoop, he's just gone. Because whatever that is hot enough to turn stone into marble. What do you do, Professor?
I think I have to jump in. I think yes.
It's so Liv. You're writing away, and you look up. Both men are gone. Casper, you are in a dark, safe place. Thank goodness. You've come to yourself. You've run into the supply shed. Right? There's lots of kind of picks and axes and weapons and gelignite and lamps and things here. And so you're kind of being careful in there. All right. What are you to do?
Lev looks down
I want to start grabbing dynamite.
All right. You've got some dynamite. Excellent. How many boxes would you like? There are 2.
Let's grab both. Liv, if you can take one, that would be really helpful.
Okay, Liv, what are you doing?
Lev looks down the pit and says, "Take
that." Oh, now it's. Oh, really? Okay. Now is we will never know, because she never revealed what she knew about the professor. You people at home can speculate on that, but you look down the pit and see this entity, which is now all around you. Roll sanity.
That's a 1. That's a 1.
All right. So you get this sense of this thing that wants you, and it wants you to mine coal because it needs coal. It needs heat because it can't get it out of the rock by itself. And this world is killing it. It is killing it. It needs your help. And as Anna needed your help, Do you help Liv? Do you act or do you record and leave? What do you do?
I pull away. Like I just saw two
You
people
don't help.
disappear.
She never helps. All right. In that case, there's a blast of weird infrared impossible light as it comes barreling up after the shaft. It is now after you. All right. You're in there with the gelignite, Casper. What do you do?
I rolled a 3 sanity, and I kind of want to just throw the first stick of dynamite that I have into that and see if that makes any effect at all.
Well, take the 3 as the throw roll. All right. So you just get up and you throw that with perfection. You throw the dynamite right into the mass. You have just fed explosive to something which is made of heat. It is the worst thing you could have done. All right. This is unbelievably bad. Very bad for Liv. Just doubles in size. So, Liv, you really need to make a dodge roll right now.
God, I'm not good at that.
This is the time to practice your skills.
That's a 9. No joke.
All right. So you see the gelignite go walkata, 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 and you're pedaling backwards as boom. It's bigger now. Can it have some more? What do you do?
Is there anywhere I can hide? Like, can I duck for cover somewhere?
Yeah, you could hide in the mine shed. You could hide in the supply shed. You could hide in the barracks, but it is coming for you. It wants you.
Ducking for the barracks, closest thing.
All right, so you're running to the barracks. What are you doing, Casper?
I'm running. I tried my one dynamite thing. I'm just running away.
Okay, you taking the dynamite with you?
It's in my hands.
All
I know
right.
it's not going to work, but it's in my hands still.
All right. So I think you've got 2 boxes. You might want to make a dexterity roll. No pressure.
Okay.
Don't run with dynamite, everyone.
Good die.
Okay. Well, what if I told you it was a 96?
Peace.
So there's a thing. There is a thing. So 96 rolls cannot be pushed or lucked. I think they're just that's the way they fall. Am I right? I think I'm right. I'm running this game. I am right. So bang! Don't run with sweaty 1922 gelignite. Boom! The explosion that he dodged in 1917 caught up to him 5 years later. Casper is a pair of large boots. Bang! Roll a sanity roll, Liv.
Okay, 32. That's a success.
All right. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I'm just going to keep running for cover and try to hide and get away from this thing.
All right. So you are fleeing. It is coming after you in impossible dimensions. Are you running down the hill or up it?
Down if I can.
All right. Gonna have to dodge past it if you want to run down because that's where it's coming at you from.
Okay, if it's coming from down, then I'm going to run up because I just want to get away.
Make a constitution roll.
Oh, my con is actually really good. 60 exactly.
All right. You are absolutely legging it up to the top. You've reached the dam, that beautiful big dam wall with the earthen ramparts and the timber. What are you going to
do? Duck into the trees and try to get away.
All right. And you turn away from all of that cold, cold weight of water. But that massive blast, the thing got a tendril into the blast and gets it massively, Akira style, just becomes huge. I need one mass dodge roll from you. No, you've already made your roll. That's fine. I don't have to be that mean. So bang, the thing is supercharged and finally it can get off this hideous rock from whence it was hauled from the stars by a woman who wanted revenge on a village that killed her husband, but did not know with what she dealt. And like a column of light, Professor Kaminsky, you're going to the stars. You're going out there. Copernicus only looked at them. You're going there. How's that for you?
It feels amazing. I'm going to surpass everything he ever did. I don't need recognition anymore. This is exactly what I want.
Jan, you are leaving the earth. You are leaving the rock. You will never touch rock again. How do you feel?
I feel like I finished second place, so it's bittersweet.
All right. So you are the geologist. You study the Earth, but the professor studies the stars.
Yeah.
He wins. You go out into the sky. You punch through the atmosphere. You go past the cold moon where strange insects are flying around the other side of it. You go out past Mars and Venus and Jupiter and Uranus and beyond. You find a planet that will not be founded in 1929. You may call it Pluto, but we know it as Yuggoth. And you go far beyond that, out into the cosmos, the swirling void, where the idiot court of the demon sultan Azathoth spins. And by the time you reach that, Professor, you have no recollection of who you ever were. But the flute music is beautiful. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, people at home. Thank you. Ain't slayed nobody. Well, I slayed 3 of them. We've run a little bit over time, but we have to get all the way to midnight. So thank you very much for playing with me, everybody. And I'd also like to thank Chaosium for publishing an amazing game, for Black Monk in Poland, for translating it as Zef Cthulhu and giving me the opportunity to rewrite this scenario, which was written by my friend John Coleman in 1985. So it's an oldie but a goodie. And you guys are hilarious. How can people, once again, watch more of your adventures?
Yes, so ain'tslayednobody.com is our website, or just search for Ain't Slayed Nobody on any podcast platform. We're playing in the Old West Call of Cthulhu at the moment and having a lot of fun with it.
I would just like to say for the record that I did not slay you, you slew yourselves. So
well, we died so that she could live.
Oh,
get out.
Nice.
Boo, Cup.
No one's going to listen to our show now.
That is superb. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thank you for playing. Enjoy Gen Con Online. Best 4 days in gaming, and we've only just got started. So good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Bye.
Good night.